Hello, everyone, and welcome to this first time experience going live, but should be pretty interesting as we just watched the greatest Royal Rumble on the WWE Network. And for 5 hours, I don't really know if it was worth the 5 hours, but it was an event. It was something. And I think we definitely need to indulge on this show. I mean, a lot of people may have taken work off to watch this show. It was something that the company's trying here. Hey, if you're going to get paid $20 million by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, why the hell not? You're going to run a show. And they stacked it to the max. Did it deliver? Well, as you're about to find out as I run through this show, really wasn't the best of times, wasn't even the blurst of times either. So we started things out with John Cena and Triple H as they, according to Michael Cole, wanted to be the first people to ever have a match on this type of a standard for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And all in all, I mean, it was a good match. You know, these guys both doing the little things that I think a lot of, wrestlers and that are coming up need to look at, or training schools developing young wrestlers need to look at. Just the little things that these two did were really strong. Just a lot of mat-based stuff. I mean, maybe one of the better matches on the show. I mean, these guys are two pros. And John Cena got the victory in this one. And then after the match, he went out and cut a promo basically saying it was an honor for him to be in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And all in all, I mean, a really good match. These two always have good chemistry. Obviously, different type of environment. Crowd wasn't that big into a lot of the moves and the storytelling of Triple H being able to get out of the attitude adjustment and hit a pedigree on Cena. There was the first attitude adjustment that Cena hit. Cole called it like it was the biggest move he's ever seen hit, and for sure a victory for John Cena, but Triple H kicked out. This is the only match I felt for the commentary side of things where they sounded really put on, like really trying to put this show over, put these guys over, and not what you'd normally seen. Obviously, that went away as the next match and the rest of the show continued, but definitely wasn't the normal style of commentary that we'd hear. But nonetheless, Cena got the victory, and he moves on, cut a promo, and I guess who knows the next time we'll see him, what the future holds with him. Obviously, he's doing big things in Hollywood, and just broke the heart of Nikki Bella. Moving on, we had the Cruiserweight Championship match where Cedric Alexander defended the Cruiserweight Championship against Kalisto. When you look at this show, where they're going to probably do it by the numbers, very few, typical wrestling finishes, screwy finishes, where, someone's going to run in, cause a disqualification, what have you. I felt this match with the talent that between Cedric Alexander and Kalisto, we were going to definitely have maybe one of the better matches. And, it's just this style that WWE wants these cruiserweights to work, where things got really going when Kalisto was hitting a lot of the luchador spots, tilt-a-whirls into DDTs of that nature. And the crowd was really getting into it, especially the moments in the match where Kalisto was able to hit like a somersault plancha to the floor, and Kalisto did his tope suicida. But just the problem with the Cruiserweight division really is they're not letting these guys go full out into the style that they have the potential to. There's a lot of the ground-based body locks, trying to wear Kalisto down, and honestly, it hurt the match a bit. I thought this had the potential to be the show-stealing match on the show, but things didn't work out like that. But, Kalisto went for one of her countered a beautiful move off the top rope where he was trying to hit a Hurricane Rana. Cedric countered, and then he was able to hit a seated springboard, a Spanish fly into Cedric, but Cedric was able to come away by getting the victory with the lumbar check. Really out of nowhere, and the finish did feel pretty flat in this match. But Cedric Alexander gets the victory, and you weren't going to really change the Cruiserweight title here, considering the program they seem to be doing there on 205 Live is a Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy type of a feud. little wonky how they're getting there, but nonetheless, that's the plan for these two to go forward. And, match could have, for me, could have been another 10, 15 minutes. I think they were working to something really good, but the time constraints and what else is planned on the show, they really cut things off for what they were trying to do. Then the next match was for the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships. Sheamus and Cesaro the Bar against Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. This one we kind of knew the writing on the wall, where after the Superstar shakeup, we had Cesaro and Sheamus heading over to SmackDown. So you kind of knew that they really weren't going to win this match. They tried to really hype it up on Raw, and even with Cole on comment, or Corey Graves on commentary, basically saying that, well, if the Bar win this match, they're going to head back to Raw. But you kind of knew the momentum they've been building with the Woken Matt Hardy character, and now they deleted Bray Wyatt. They've really been working them towards, and I'm very fine with them together. It's for Bray Wyatt, it's the best thing to happen in his career in like 3-4 years, so I'm very okay with it. But this match was whatever, nothing really to write home about. Short, and probably for the best that it was short. Woken, Matt Hardy, and Bray Wyatt got the victory. Were able to hit Cesaro, I believe Sheamus actually, with the twist of fate move they're doing now, where Sheamus was seated in the lower region, and then bam, hit the twist of fate, and we have new Raw Tag Team Champions. Then the next match was Jeff Hardy defeated Jinder Mahal for the WWE United States Championship. Really one of the better matches I've seen Jinder in, minus the egregious botch where Jeff Hardy went for the Whisper in the Wind and totally missed Jinder. Jinder wasn't set up correctly to hit the spot, and Jeff just crashed and burned to the floor, or to the mat, and Jinder then decided to take the bump. So that something didn't look good, but I thought Jinder really worked well. Jeff Hardy definitely got the best out of him, but, in classic fashion here, it was Jinder taking the loss after Suniel Singh interference didn't really work out. Then Jinder was able to go for a Coloss, but Hardy countered, and then Jinder sat down on it and tried to hook the belt buckle of Jeff Hardy. That didn't work out, and then basically Jeff Hardy was able to counter, hit, I believe, the twist of fate on Jinder Mahal, and then Swanton Bomb. Jeff Hardy still United States champion, and it sets up, obviously, probably the program they're trying to get with Jinder Mahal going on, with Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton going on, and we'll probably see that at Backlash next Sunday. So, fine match, whatever. Honestly, a lot of these matches, I don't know why people are so upset at some of the finishes that we will get into very shortly. This show was really a nothing show. Like, you're getting paid $20 million to do this show, and we'll continue along here. After the prayer break, where we just went back to the panel, they kept hyping up what was coming up and reviewing what we'd already seen on the show. It was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. The Bludgeon Brothers defeated the Usos. Very short match, and the finish was basically Rowan getting thrown into Jay, and he got tagged. There was a tag back in, and Rowan and Harper hit their kill bomb. Very short match, but I like what they're doing with the Bludgeon Brothers, a team that I think maybe the tag name for them is a little silly, but those two work very well together. They're being built as monster tag team, and something we don't have in the tag division right now in this company, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, where you have a lot of great teams that have the ability to work for sure, but this monster effect, it's something that separates them. They do a really good job with it. They're being built as monsters, and it's working out. So they retain, and honestly, there'll probably be another rematch between these two with more involvement with Trinity, as things are going to be involved with her, as that was what they did on SmackDown. So then we went to the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Samoa Joe. The only thing for me going into this match that I really didn't want to see was make it, anyone to get hurt, obviously, but felt this match was easily the safest ladder match I've seen in quite a while. There were some spots into the ladders. Obviously Finn's back got beat up for sure. It felt the the brunt of the ladders, but nothing really insane here where we've seen people try to do insane bumps in these ladder matches. But we didn't really get a lot of insane bumps. I mean, Joe was throwing Finn and Seth into the ladders. We had, The Miz try to work a deal with Samoa Joe, which I liked for his character, that he said no and just, bludgeoned up The Miz. I thought Joe looked really well in this match. And The Miz looked well. And then the finish of the match was Finn was left all alone trying to reach for the Intercontinental Championship. And then Seth just came out of nowhere, did a springboard off the ladder and up into one of the rungs and just easily climbed up and ripped the belt basically out of Finn Balor's hands to retain the Intercontinental Championship. And just the great look of despair on Finn Balor's face, like, can't believe that happened, and he just came up short yet again. So either that tells me, obviously, we're probably going to get a singles program between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, which I'm all for. But you wonder if they're going to maybe indulge in more on a heel type of persona for Finn Balor. As him right now, he's in the big matches, but he comes up short. And usually with that is they tweak the character to either turn heel fully, where he's going to, snap it. So, like, I tried to do so much for the fans and the fans love me, but look where it got me, nowhere. And I need to get it to an edge. And they can scratch the edge for, when Finn, as Prince Devitt, created the Bullet Club in New Japan. So, I mean, the man can be a sensational heel. Moving along, after the ladder match, we had one of the better matches on the show, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. A lot of people didn't like the finish on this one. I thought, first of all, this match was definitely set out way better, different type of style, pacing in this match than the WrestleMania match. And, we had the finish where a great false finish in this match first, where AJ went for the phenomenal forearm and Nakamura rolled out of the way, and it looked like AJ was going to plow the ref with it, but he stopped himself at the last minute, and while AJ was help getting the ref back to his feet, Nakamura hit him with another low blow. This is where I thought the title was going to change hands. If any match really could have had a title change hands on this show, I thought it was this one for the WWE Championship. And, Nakamura, he's been working so hot as a heel. He's got obviously amazing charisma. They've just mixed up his music, which adds another layer to the heel persona that he has. But as well, his promo work has been awesome. I love this catchphrase of "no speak English." I think that's fantastic for him. And so he was able to hit the low blow, got a really close near fall. And then Styles and Nakamura started to brawl on the floor, and finish was a double countout. Now, a lot of people are hating on this, but to me, I was very okay with this for a number of reasons. One, obviously, it continues the feud, as they did announce on the show at Backlash next week Sunday, that they will be once again having a match for the WWE Championship. But, it adds another layer to AJ's character. Like, I'm just sick and tired of this, of these low blows, and I got to, try to take it out as much as I can. I'm going to take my frustration out on Shinsuke Nakamura. Keeps Shinsuke Nakamura coming up from receiving a loss. And a double count is such a good finish. It's something that we don't see enough of today in my mind. I mean, first of all, it wasn't like this was WrestleMania or anything like that. This was a random show just thrown out of nowhere where the company got $20 million to put it on. And honestly, I don't think it's the end of the world that a double countout. I'm okay with double countout finishes. I kind of wish we'd use them. Obviously not every week or every other week, but in their way, they have a place of working, and I thought this worked out really fine. And as we will head now, we have SmackDown on Tuesday, and then we have Backlash on Sunday for more of this story to build up. So I'm very okay with what happened here. I understand people are like, oh, finish was flat as the match was going really well. That's fine. This was definitely an appetizer to the snack that was at WrestleMania. We should get a main course around Backlash or whatever the blow-off is. I don't think Backlash will be the blow-off, but I could see definitely Nakamura coming away champion next Sunday. And then we moved things along to the casket match for The Undertaker versus Rusev. And let me tell you something. I thought this was the best match on the card. Rusev, obviously, working with Undertaker, I think, is a good thing for him. Taker can work with all those Hoss-type characters. And, man, Undertaker, at his age, the ability for him to put on solid match quality like that, I was very impressed. Like, this match went on a little bit longer than I thought. The guy looked like he could have another run if they wanted him to be, not say a regular, but around SummerSlam for a serious type of a program. I'd be very okay with that. The performance he has had on. Obviously, the plan now for Taker is keep the matches short or to a certain length and around the 10-minute area, and you get to see the highlights of Taker. But I thought he worked really well. Rusev got some of his big spots in, showing off, his power and his agility. And he played off the fact that it was a casket match, and he was spooked out of the casket when it was open to start the match, or when he fell on top of it at one point in this contest and got off. It was absolutely spooked. Then we saw Rusev get put in the casket. Aiden English tried to stop Taker from shutting down the lid, but he received a tombstone for his trouble, was put in there as well, and Taker gets the victory in one of the better matches. As I said, the best match, in my opinion, on this show. Undertaker gets the win. Then we move to the co-main event of the evening. It was the WWE Universal Championship match. Brock Lesnar defends against Roman Reigns inside the confines of a 15-foot-high steel cage. Really, once again, I thought this match was working out to be a lot better than what we saw at WrestleMania, where Roman got a lot more offense in. Paul Heyman was, an added use for a steel cage match, whether he slammed, the spot where he slammed the door in Roman's face, threw a chair in to help Brock out. I like that involvement, and I definitely like the fire that we had Roman come back in this match and actually do something, where he kind of just sat there and took it the match at WrestleMania. But it started hot with obviously a bunch of German suplexes, some F5s as well. And then, okay, let's get to the finish, because a lot of people have been mad about this finish, saying, what a terrible finish. One, I thought it was a creative way to keep the title on Brock without him going over Roman Reigns. Two, do you remember when on ECW, I know this is like 11 years ago, but on WWE's version of ECW, there was a cage match with Bobby Lashley and Hardcore Holly, and it was basically to build up the Lashley-Umaga match at WrestleMania 23. Well, Lashley charged the cage. The whole cage fell on top of Umaga. It was somehow to show that Bobby Lashley's not afraid of him, but he looked to me like an idiot throwing his own body into a cage and making it look stupid. This, on the other hand, was great. I mean, I thought Brock took a nasty bump to the floor. It was such a unique way. People are saying, "Oh, crimey!" Like, I think because everyone thought Roman for sure was going to win the belt here, and I'm okay with them keeping it on Brock. Was a unique way. Sure, is it a little Russo-y, sans WCW 2000 when Goldberg speared him out of the cage so Russo could win the championship? A little bit, but obviously with these pros, and it makes Roman look like he's just getting there, and just the circumstances of the match, unfortunately, worked against him in the long run. So I'm very much okay with the finish of this match. And once again, the show means nothing. I know they promoted it like it was a big deal. The show means nothing. The storylines are going to just pretty much stay stagnant. I don't know how much they will reference this back in time or to anything as the way the business is today, but this to me really meant nothing. In a long-term sense, storyline-wise. It's going to keep the feud going, but it was a unique way, I thought, for this match to keep on going, or feud to keep on going. And, hey, Brock took some serious bumps for Roman to make Roman look a little bit more better in there, and I like the finish. I may be in the minority, but I thought the finish was pretty good. Moving on to the main event, the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. A 50-man Royal Rumble match, as we started things off in this match with Daniel Bryan coming out at number 1, and then Dolph Ziggler came out at number 2. They started things out, and I thought it was very interesting how they started things out, where they were basically instantly trying to get each other out. And so with the minute 30 intervals, I thought something was a little bit, little surprised it was a minute 30 intervals too. But, normally it's obviously you just got to pound on, have a little bit of a match, but it was instantly try to get each other out. So I thought that was kind of unique. Number 3 was Sin Cara. He hit a couple spots, was sent to the floor pretty quickly. And then we had Curtis Axel come out. who didn't really do too much. And really weird to hear Axel and Dallas's theme music. And they're still referencing them as part of the Miz Taraj, even though Miz is now on SmackDown and Axel and Dallas are on Raw, but okay. Then number 4, I already said Curtis Axel at 5, was Mark Henry. They, of course, once again built Mark Henry up as a big, dominating badass now that he's been put in the Hall of Fame, as Henry was able to eliminate Curtis Axel. Mike Kalinis came in. He lasted maybe a second. Mike Kanellis, he was gone. Then Hiroki Sumo, who I have no idea who he is. Obviously, someone WWE is trying to sign on as a big Asian-type sumo guy. He was eliminated pretty quickly by Mark Henry. Then we had Victor from the Ascension come on in. Daniel Bryan got rid of him pretty effectively. Then Kofi Kingston came on in, he did Kofi King things, and then we kind of started to build the ring up a bit, where we had Tony Nese, Dash Wilder, frickin' Hornswoggle, and I just groaned in my eyes about that. But shout out to Hornswoggle, as he's the only man in modern history to not only work a Royal Rumble, but the Joey Janela clusterfuck in the same year. So shout out to Hornswoggle on such an amazing accomplishment. Now, after Hornswoggle, we had Primo Cologne come in, Xavier Woods came in, Bo Dallas, Kurt Angle hit the ring to really kind of nothing of major interest. Scott Dawson of what was I going to say? The Dash and Dawson. Oh my God, the Revival. Yes, he came in. Goldust, Connor, Elias came out and got a solid reaction from the crowd. Even got them to say what WWE stands for. We stand with Elias, type of a thing. And then things kept on rolling on. There were a couple guys eliminated. I can't believe we got Hornswoggle out of there pretty early, which was good. Dash Wilder was eliminated by Kofi Kingston and Hornswoggle. And then things kept rolling on. After Elias, we got Luke Gallows, Rhino, Drew Gulak, Tucker Knight from one half of Heavy Machinery in NXT. Bobby Roode came in, Fandango, Chad Gable. Of course, Rey Mysterio came in, and boy, does Rey look great, even at his age, to keep on working the way he does. He's gotten himself in tremendous shape, and really hope things work out. Obviously, I think Rey wants to do a couple more indie things. I think he's looking in tremendous shape and as good as he ever was. Mojo Rawley, Tyler Breeze came in very quickly, was eliminated by Mojo Rawley. Big E came in, gave Tucker Knight a bunch of pancakes. He was thrown to the floor pretty quickly afterwards. Carl Anderson came in. Apollo Crews came in. Shocked to see Roderick Strong from NXT come in, and Roderick looked freaking great. Then Randy Orton, Heath Slater, Baba Tunde, who I have not seen on NXT yet. Baron Corbin, and he hit some nice spots with Rey Mysterio. And then the greatest entrance in the history of a Royal Rumble match occurred, as the horn hit. Number 39 was Titus O'Neil. And Titus went to the ring, head of steam, looking to represent Titus worldwide. Hit the ring, hit his feet on the mat, and slid in safe under the ring. In one of the biggest botches I think we have seen in quite a while. How Michael Cole and Corey Graves kept things together in this one, I have no idea. My focus for about 10 minutes afterwards was gone, that these two were just having a riot at Titus's botch. Titus came in and was trying to hit some offenses, what you normally do expect from the guys once they come in, but there's no calling of it. Nobody could believe what they'd seen. And, very shortly after Titus was eliminated, Dan Matha was next at 40 from NXT. Then Braun Strowman came in. And then the remaining few were Kurt Hawkins, Bobby Lashley, Great Khali, who did not last long, and thank goodness, Kevin Owens, then Shane McMahon, Shelton Benjamin, Big Cass, and the final person was number 50, Chris Jericho. And I liked how they tied in a lot of the storylines with these guys. Like for Kevin Owens, he came in, then right after him was Shane. So they got to the camera of Kevin really wanted to, get some damage on Shane. And then when Jericho came in, the same type of a thing. So then we got to the eliminations there as Khali got eliminated. And then Braun pretty much just took over. I think Braun had something in the neighborhood of like 12 or 13 eliminations on this show. Got rid of, Ty Dillinger, Titus O'Neil, Heath Slater. Then he got rid of Shane in one of the more nasty eliminations where Shane went to go hit coast to coast earlier in the match and he went to do it again. But Braun just grabbed him and threw him through the announce table. Really nasty. Like, Shane, how is he continuing to take these bumps? I have no idea. Shelton Benjamin got eliminated by Chris Jericho. Braun got rid of Chris Jericho very early, very short appearance here from Jericho. And then Daniel Bryan looked to continue his improbable run before he was eliminated by Big Cass. I mean, Daniel Bryan lasted an hour and 16 minutes in this thing, which is unbelievable. And so our final two were Big Cass and Braun Strowman, and it didn't take long before Braun eliminated Big Cass. So the winner of the inaugural Greatest Royal Rumble match, Braun Strowman. Happy to see Braun, win this. I don't know how far it pushes him, but he's definitely a monster that was built there. I don't know what this means, though. But, I mean, it really was telling to see who the final two are, Big Cass and Braun Strowman, as the more this company continues to grow with amazing talent of the lighter sizes and on the independents or the international scene, Vince McMahon's still around, still going to be those dudes in that 6'6" area around 300 pounds that are going to get those big type of show pushes. So Braun wins, fireworks, and it was quickly, let's get out of here because it was a long show. 5 hours or so. All in all, in my opinion, definitely not a show worth going out of your way to see again. I mean, if you like Royal Rumble, sure, watch just the Rumble match. I don't think anything plays into storylines. I think a lot of people being upset over, oh, that's a shitty finish or what have you. Oh, why would we get a screwy finish? Because this show doesn't matter. In the long scheme of things, this show doesn't matter. I know they promoted it. It's like this was a very important show. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. This is a show for WWE to get $20 million, the boys to get a nice trip for a couple days to Saudi Arabia and see the sights and scenery of Saudi Arabia. Storylines don't matter. It'll really continue starting next Monday on Raw for both Raw and SmackDown as we head to Backlash next Sunday. So all in all, definitely a thumbs down show, but continue to watch the Titus bump online. That is one of the funniest things I have ever seen. So with that, peace out. Have a good one.